Good afternoon, Allen Temple friends and family. I just want to thank you for joining me this afternoon for this important conversation about the state of our church. I thought it was important that I come to you and share with you personally just where we are and what we've been doing since this pandemic has began. As you all know, we began the year with the theme coming out of Exodus chapter 14, starting at that 14th verse through the 15th verse, where Moses cries out to God when he sees the Red Sea, and God responds and says, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites I said to move forward." And so we chose as a theme for the year, moving forward together by faith. And only the Lord knew what would be ahead of us. In the same way the Red Sea was ahead of the Israelites, little did we know that a public health pandemic was going to be before us. But in the same way that God gave Moses everything he needed, that he had right in his hand, everything he needed to address the issues of the day, I'm so grateful that God has given us everything that we have needed to be able to manage during this pandemic. So usually during this time, we have our quarterly advisory board meeting and our quarterly church business meeting, but we have not been able to gather and do that. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to bring you up to date on how we've been managing and how the church is faring. And so if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to email us at info@allen-temple.org, or you can call the church at 510-544-8910, or you can visit our website for updated information. So when the shutdown happened, which was approximately March 17th, I prayed and asked the Lord how to move forward. What is it that we should be doing? And so I want to share with you the 4 goals that have informed the way ministry has been moving forward and taking place, because I wanted you to be clear that although the doors to the building were closed, that ministry was still happening. Church is not closed. The building is closed. But we understand that as the church, it's us, the people. And so I had 4 goals for this season. The first goal was to create connection and to maintain care in community. The second goal was to maintain engaging worship and provide spiritual growth and educational opportunities. The third goal was to help those that were experiencing crisis and in need. And the last goal, as always, was to seek justice for those who have been adversely impacted by the virus and the pandemic. And so one of the ways that we've achieved that first goal with maintaining connection, community, and care has been through the ministry of our congregational care ministries led by Reverend Jesse Land and our deacons ministry. And so we are happy to report our deacons ministry has remained active throughout the entire pandemic. They have been calling members, staying in touch through their zip code ministry. Over 600 families have been reached at this time. So if you have not heard from your deacon, or if you do not know who your deacon is, reach out to us, let us know, because they are eager to be in touch with you. They've been checking on members to see how they are managing during this pandemic. In addition, they've maintained ministry by sending out about 230 cards to those families who are on the sick and shut-in list and who are bereaved. And we are so grateful for the way the deacons ministry and our congregational care ministry have been working together to make sure all of our members are receiving a touch and receiving support and care. In addition, Reverend Jesse Land and his own team, his own Corona crew, has touched weekly. They have been in contact with the members who are on our sick and shut-in list, and we are so excited about that. And I want to extend a personal thanks to both of those ministries. In addition, our bereavement ministry has been active in providing care, burials and funeral celebrations are being held. We're in a limited time, and so families needed extra care and support because they aren't able to celebrate the way they would usually celebrate the life of their loved one. So for those who are bereaved, please reach out to them, minister to them, pray for them, send a card to them, so that they will know we recognize the pain that they are in, the double pain that they are in, not just the loss of their loved one, but the inability to engage in the rituals that we're accustomed to engaging in. But you all know, as I always say, this too shall pass, and we are going to find a way to honor the lives of all of the ones who have been lost. So the first goal was to create, maintain connection and community and care, and so you're getting more emails, and we're engaging social media more for the purpose of doing that. Our second goal was to maintain worship and to provide spiritual growth and educational opportunities. opportunity. So you will be glad to know that we have 10 active Sunday school classes that are active every Sunday via technology, using Zoom technology, either by video or by telephone. So now is a wonderful time to find a Sunday school class. If you are not engaged in Sunday school, you can call in or you can join by video. Visit the website to find those classes. And we pray that you've been enjoying the online weekly services that have been taking place. We have tried to be as creative as we can, given the restrictions that we have, to make sure that worship still goes forth, because we know worship is so important to us as a community of faith. In addition, we have added an all-church prayer. So every Wednesday night from 7 to 7:30, every single member of the church is invited to call in and to pray with us. We are grateful for Reverend Lana Rice, one of our associate ministers, who is giving leadership to that. And we want to thank her and everyone who has joined the call. And it is a wonderful, enriching, powerful midweek experience. And we placed it on Wednesday because around about Wednesday is when we get stir crazy and you need that kind of hump day boost of spiritual energy to get you over. And so we are so grateful to all of them and for how they have continued to minister. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. And so I'm looking down at my notes. One of the other goals that we had, our third goal, was to help those that were in crisis and in need. One of the major ways that we have done that has been through our food pantry ministry, which is also led by deacons and deaconess. We are so very grateful. Deacon Nolan Clay, Deacon Ronald Abernathy, Deaconess Remington. We are so grateful for their leadership and the tremendous team of volunteers that works with them every single week. We have increased the times of our feeding. Before we were only serving twice a month. We are now every single week. And we are grateful that through our food pantry ministries combined, we have been able, since March 17th, since the shutdown, we have been able to feed over 1,400 families. That is a blessing. And we are so very grateful that we've been able to do that. And we want to thank you who have given to our food box and who have solicited your organizations to donate. We are deeply grateful that we have been able to make sure that families in East Oakland are able to eat and able to take care of themselves. In addition, our benevolence ministry, which you know is housed in our deacons ministry, has been able to assist 13 families with their rent, with mortgage payments, with utilities totaling about $7,000. So we have been helping people who are challenged. We know this is a time of job loss, and there are people who just cannot make ends meet. And so we are grateful that God has blessed us and that you have blessed us to be able to stand in the gap to meet those needs of those families. So thank you once again, and thank you to our deacons ministries for making sure that we've been able to do that critical work. In addition, we've also had some members who have stood in the gap and who are helping meet a need by making masks. And so I want to thank all of you. We have a number of groups. We have members of our health education ministry, members of our Sunday school, members of the church in general who have sewn masks, because now masks are required in public, but we recognize that surely if the hospitals and if healthcare agencies are having difficulty finding them, we are struggling to find them. And so I'm grateful for the creativity and the ingenuity of our members who are willing to literally put their fingers to the bone, put their fingers to the sewing machine, and make sure that the underserved have masks. And so we have been using those. We're going to use more in the interim until we get the donation that we're in partnership with an agency to receive. So I just want to thank you for every single way that every single one of you have offered and have helped to meet the needs of those who are less than. I want to thank you. And then the last goal, of course, we had was to seek justice for those who are adversely impacted. And you've been hearing on the news how African Americans and Hispanics are adversely impacted by the virus. Not only are we impacted physically, but we are adversely impacted socially. And so one of the things that we've done is to advocate to be a testing site, because we know that there's been a lack of testing. There's definitely a lack of testing in African American neighborhoods. And I'm pleased to report that we are in negotiations to have our parking lot be a drive-through testing site. I am so excited about that. You all know, you have heard me speak about this since day one. So we are grateful to the God that answers prayer. So continue to be in prayer for us, because we recognize that one of the critical things that need to happen in order for us to be able to reopen and re-engage in community safely and in a healthy fashion is we need to be able to get folks tested. And 2/3 of the cases in Oakland, 2/3 of the cases that are in Oakland are in East Oakland. So it is critical for us to make sure that we have testing in our neighborhood. So we're excited about that. One of the other ways that we're seeking justice is we have partnered with Reverend Mike McBride, who you all saw in the Thursday Theological Conversation last week, who is trying to get 1 million masks for people. We have pledged to be a distribution site for those masks to make sure that all of our people have the proper covering. And so we are grateful for that. We want to make sure that no one is left behind. And I also want to lift up that Reverend Jeremy, who's an associate minister of our church, who you all have seen taping with us for the Sunday services, has been doing some advocacy work on behalf of the homeless. That is a passion area. And so he's been doing some work to make sure that we can get homeless people off the street and into the hotels that have been set aside by the state for them. So there's lobbying going on there. And we're grateful for our public ministries, who continues to meet and continues to work. Grateful for Sister Sheila Fuller, Reverend Alonzo Fuller, who are continuing to meet around the pressing issues of the census. You will see some information coming out about that, coming out about the vote, because if we ever recognize there needs to be a change in administration, we recognize it now. And you all know how I am about that, so I will leave that comment right there. But we are grateful for the information they're sharing around that. And so I just wanted to update you and let you know the goals that were driving the ministry that you were seeing and where we are in this process. And now on to the big question, because this is the question that everybody wants to know. Let me thank our trustees, our financial officers, thank our security ministry, everybody who is responsible in our congregational stewardship cluster for the work and the sacrifices that they have made and that they've been doing during this time. I thank our IT ministry that has continued to meet as well to make sure that we have all of the technology and the bandwidth that we need, since it is clear that we're going to have to function in this way for a while. We are grateful for our trustee ministry and our financial officers. Because this is a public format, I cannot go into details and give you lots of numbers, but we are grateful for the God who provides. And we are grateful for the God that keeps us. And so I am pleased to report that based on a month-to-month comparison of this time last year, our revenue is up $126,000. And based on a month-to-month comparison from 2019 to 2020, our expenses are down by $82,000. And I'm also pleased to report that all of our obligations are met. So we are so grateful to all of you who have been faithful in your tithes, faithful in your offerings, faithful in your giving. For those of you who are wondering, we have applied for the payment protection plan. You all can hear the news and hear everything that's going on with that, but we will be diligent in making sure that our application gets some attention. We applied early. I believe we were 2 days after the process opened, but many of the smaller businesses, faith-based organizations have been left kind of in the pipeline. And now that we've seen the news, we know why, because billions of dollars have been going toward corporations and people who have budgets. And I won't say they won't need it. That's not mine to say, but I will say there are others that need it more. So for those of you who believe in the power of prayer, won't you pray? Won't you pray for our trustees and our financial officers, that God will give them favor, that we will be able to get the support in that area that we need. I also want to report in terms of stewardship and congregational care that we have had new members joining us every week. And so God is continuing to grow our congregation even during this time of pandemic and shutdown. So when we ask about the state of Allen Temple, the state of the church, the partnership, the body of Christ, the state of the church is strong. And we are strong in the Lord and the power of his might. And I just want to echo and echo and echo my sincere, deep appreciation to each and every one of you who have sacrificed in your own way during this time. I also want to encourage you to continue to be safe, continue to be healthy, continue to follow the protocols that are given to us by our government leaders. By now, we are aware that we will be in this mode, in this posture, functioning in this way for the next 30 days, that the shutdown is going to continue as of now until May 31st. And so we will continue in the vein that you've been experiencing until May 31st. The only addition is we're grateful for those ministries who have utilized technology to continue to meet. Our deacons are utilizing Zoom. Our music ministry has been utilizing technology. I'm encouraging every ministry leader to use the teleconference technology to meet with your ministries, reach out to your ministries, begin planning. If you need some assistance with that, once again, send an email to the church, let us know. We have Zoom lines, we have teleconference lines to help assist you with ministry. We recognize there's some things that are coming up, and we want to be prepared. We want to be prepared for Scholarship Sunday and for our graduates, and they need now more than ever for us to support and recognize their accomplishments in this non-traditional time. And I also want to let you know that by the time you see this, hopefully our website page will be updated. We have lots and lots of new information that we want you to go to the page and visit. We are grateful for Dr. Rika and for the Bethsaida Counseling Ministry. They have put together an entire list of resources of counselors and therapists. And for those of you who need mental health services and support, or if you know of someone, you can go to our website, find a resource, and refer them. I'm thanking Sister Anitra Clark again, a member of our church who has offered her services. You'll find her information there. It'll also be in our weekly newsletter. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to just update you, let you know how we are doing. If you have any individual questions, I cannot address specifics in this particular vehicle, but we certainly can via email or in private. So please reach out to us. Continue to keep us in prayer. Continue to keep me in prayer. We are praying for our bereaved families, for those who are experiencing loss, and know that we are right there with them. And we are grateful for the God who has enabled us to be able to move forward in ministry despite this pandemic, knowing that He says, God says, that the Lord will fight for you. You need only be still. So take advantage of these times of stillness and quietness and time to develop your relationship with God, to pray, to sense where the Lord is leading us. We understand that although it's new for us, it's not new for God. So we cast all of our care upon the Lord, believing that God cares for us. I invite you this Sunday morning to join us in our worship experience at 8 a.m. and our second worship experience at 11 a.m. Find a Sunday school class. Join us in Bible study noonday on Tuesdays, prayer on Wednesdays, Thursday night theological conversation on YouTube and Facebook. And pretty soon I have a program I want to propose to you all, and I'm going to need your help. I need to make sure that all of our seniors are connected. So if we don't have your email, if we don't have your contact information, please leave that information on the church line so we can make sure everything is updated, so this new thing that we're trying to launch to increase our connection will be able to have great success and nobody's left behind. And so I want to thank you for this time that you have taken. I pray that you have a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful rest of your week, and just know that we are here all in this together. God bless you, and I love you much.